Hello, it's a beautiful September day and I'm taking you with me to cut the last wedding of my season. So come along, let's see what this flower farm has to offer right at the end of September. If you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got more clips. And if you're really interested in what you do and you really want to be in the gang and you really want to find out about running small businesses, being a flower farmer, growing flowers for sale, growing flowers for fun, floristry, self-care and books, then join the club. The links to all of these things are in the blurb to all my clips. Right, on we go. How many stems do you think I can be able to cut off this apricot cosmos? I'm cutting the entire garden today. The last event of the year is always one where I cut the whole thing. And when the client gets in touch to book the flowers and they say, I'm getting married at the end of September, I do suck my teeth rather and think, I don't know what we're going to have. So I have said, I will just cut the best in the garden. We're going for bright colours and masses of flowers. Total of, it's about 700 flowers that we're going to cut today. And you can see how there are patches where we've been clearing and planting. I must water these in today because it's lovely sunny weather, good growing weather. But these Aquilegia need water because we haven't had rain again. We've got this lovely warm sunny days, perfect for cutting flowers. And then I've been planting, these are black hollyhocks for next year. Stunning sort of aubergine colour, very exciting. But then in between, I'm going to cut every single flower that you can see in the patch. And of course there are still roses and more up there. So off we go. And this is self-sown Phacelia. You can see a bit of blue flower there, which the bees love. And I've let it grow on because it's a wonderful soil conditioner. It's always better, so I'm going to dig it in a minute and it'll feed the soil. We're all very excited about soil, got to manage the soil. And but also, I'm not just keeping an eye out for this kind of self-sown crop. Hello, waving at you. But there are all kinds of people who are popping up at this time of year. It's really worth being able to recognise seedlings. And look, can you see the seedlings in there? They are scabious, from this white scabious, so they'll be there for next summer. I'm not going to dig them up. But also the bigger glaucous silver leaf, that is honeywort. The Latin has disappeared in my head. Cerinthe major purpurescens to you, madam. Anyway, these are going to be all corralled and put together because I've got a few popping up all over the place and they can make a crop for next year. So I'll leave these scabious seedlings and I will dig up the Cerinthe and move them. Talk about self-sown. I think we're going to be all right for motherwort. This is Leonoris sibirica, which has seeded itself liberally, and we will be digging some of this up and rearranging it in rows for next year. It's really worth learning to recognise your seedlings because as your plot sets seed, you can then save yourself money buying more. Plus, seed from plants which have done well in your garden will be more resilient to the conditions in your garden again next year. Do have a look at my previous clip where I went to visit Ellen of Winnow Farm Flowers, Winnow Farm Seeds, where she is a seed farmer and she talks about how you can build resilience into your seed bank by collecting your own seed, by resowing your own seed and by spotting your own seedlings and keeping them for next year. Because climate change is really a thing, whatever some other people may say. And the reason I know this is I have been gardening here for 20 years and it is not the same. The weather is not the same and the garden is not the same. The conditions are not the same as they were when we came here in 2004. The summers are much hotter, the winters are much wetter. The conditions are more extreme. There's less gentleness. And so plants that do well here, flower here and set seed here are building a resilience to this particular patch. And that's why I've learned, every day's a school day. I've learned, and particularly recently I have learned, it's all about, if you can take your own seed or at least source seed that has been grown locally, it will be more resilient to climate change and better for the seed bank. So here in the studio, here are some of the seeds I've been collecting, and they're just living in this dark, the sun comes over the top of them. It doesn't get them too hot, and it's cool, airy in here. This is my flower studio, and they'll just stay there until I'm ready to sow them. But this is fresh seed from varieties that we've grown here at Common Farm. What have we got in here? Oh, Orlea grandiflora, Ami majus. I think, oh yes, millet. You learn to recognise these things. Exciting. Well, niche thrills. So when I've got a lot to do, so today we've got a live chat with Jack Wallington over on the club, on the stack, 5 o'clock. So I've got to be ready to do that. But I've got to get all of these flowers cut today so that the bride can collect tomorrow morning. So yesterday I washed out all my buckets and I filled them with water, so I'm ready to go. Plenty of buckets. The trolley's all ready. I'm going to take 4 buckets at a time because I'm lazy. I did talks and demos last week at the Yo Valley Garden Festival. It was really, really fun. I hope they do it again next year. I think it's going to be a really big, eventually it's going to become a really big thing. Anyway, I treated myself to something I've never had. Nowaki, you all know I'm a big fan of Nowaki, was sponsoring the event, and they had a stand, and so I treated myself to a holster, which I've never had one of these, but it means that I can put my snips in my holster, and it's easier than carrying them around. Normally I have them in my trolley, but they do tend to fall out, but the holster is great. And also I've got a hori there, so if ever I need to slash at anything while I'm at it, more useful for general gardening jobs. But while I'm harvesting, having a holster for my snips. I know I've been a flower farmer 15 years and everybody else has had a holster for years, but you know, catch up when you're ready. I've been saving up to pay for this studio all that time, not spending all my money where I didn't need to. So we are going to cut every single usable stem in the garden. I've also got some dahlias coming in from my colleague Natalie Tudhope at Somerset Dahlias. We'll definitely have plenty of cosmos in this story. We'll have amaranth. I love amaranthus. Do you think you're either an amaranthus person or a celosia person? I think the person who loves amaranth maybe loves it more than they love celosia. So all of this amaranth is going to go, and then all the zinnias are going to be cut. Every single one. This is my last cut of the season. There's such a heavy crop of crab apples that I'm definitely putting some crabbies in this mix. I think a late season wedding with crab apples is so evocative of the time of year, and you can just lay them on the tables going down and they're so brilliant as a sort of highlight. For weddings, even if you're going for really bright colours, it's good to have some white, and this Statisse has done incredibly well in the tunnel here. I've been cutting this for 3 months and it's still harvest. I've got heaps of it drying for my Christmas sales, and here it all is still going in the tunnel, so I'm going to have all of this. Look at the blue. This is my very favourite Salvia uglanosa. It's really hard to get really sky blue at this time of year, but how's that for a colour? Isn't that amazing? And the bride wants colour, so colour she will have. And as I go round, I'm spotting seeds to collect. This is the green A triplex I grew this year, and I loved it. I will definitely be growing it again. So I'm going to cut some of this seed and pop it in a packet so I know where it is. How's that for a handful of promise? So this patch, we have roses, we have fading hydrangeas, we have lots of foliage. This grass gives a lovely frothy feel, end of season-ish to an autumnal wedding. And look at the glorious colour of the sedum. Just say yes. Right, so I'm going to get cutting and I'll show you what I've cut at the end. You've seen around the garden. Oh my goodness, the roses. You've seen around the garden, and we've got dahlias coming in from Somerset Dahlias. Should make a really stunning mix. So here we have 550 stems for this lovely wedding. All lots and lots of colour. Good deal of foliage because they are making some big arrangements. Lots of apples. Most of the dahlias are from Natalie at Somerset Dahlias, except for that bucket there from me. And that's a very nice mix. But you may remember that I said at the beginning that I need to cut 770 stems. And of course, I often have 2 projects on the go at once. And so we have a lot of pink dahlias, and we're going to have a lot of more pink cosmos. And then I'm going to show you a good idea. We're doing a memorial service. Do you remember a few weeks ago, I did the funeral of a lovely girl called Yasmin Ton who died of a brain tumour. And on Friday is her memorial service. And so we are working on that. And I'll explain more about that as we go. So here is part 2 of the pink funeral flowers. And these 3 large vases are going to be as focal points in the church. So 2 at the entrance and 1 up by the lectern. And the thing about having 3 arrangements in a church is and one of them pointing, 2 at the back and 1 pointing to the altar, it gives you the Father, Son and Holy Ghost feel. And it's an arrow pointing to the point of the exercise. Anyway, then we have these bud vases which are going to go at the end of each pew, and these are going to be for the friends and family members of this lovely kid who very sadly died of a brain tumour, to take with them. So at the funeral they put flowers on her coffin, but this time at the memorial service they're going to pick these up and take them with them as a little, so they'll have, obviously the flowers won't last forever, but that's a little reminder. They can take them home on the tube, a little reminder of Yazzie, and they take the spirit with them of this kid who did not waste 4 years weeping and wailing and gnashing her teeth that she was poorly, but raised 40,000 quid for brain tumour research while she was dying. So to take that with you, whenever they see that little bud vase, it's going to go, maybe it'll kickstart them and think, A, aren't I lucky to be alive today? And B, what can I do to make a difference? And so that's what they are for everybody to take with them and have a little memory of Yasmin and a little bit of her incredible energy and focus and can-do spirit with them as they go. And they, astonishingly, will fit in the back of the car, believe me. So here are the last wedding flowers of the year, DIY wedding, bright colours. I think we met the brief. I love the apples. They are for laying on the table. I must ping an email to the client because I'm going to miss them because I'm going to be on the way to London. Lots of great amaranth to play with. Lots of good foliage. That's the end of September in Somerset in an array of buckets of flowers. And farewell flowers for Yazzie. I hope they do the job. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of the garden. Do please subscribe. We are a subscriber-supported channel, and so your actual subscriptions really make a huge difference. So if you're the kind of person who watches the clip and looks for our clips and watches them, then please do subscribe because that makes a huge difference to the algorithm. Oh yes, we're playing the algorithm. So do subscribe, and if any of this interesting information has been useful, then do join the club. The link for club membership is in the blurb to all my clips. Right, on we go. And the cute little bud vases, they are from a company called Jarapa in Wincanton, Jarapa, and they make lovely things out of recycled glass. Very cute. And look, I'm transporting these in the boxes in which the bud vases came.